Hockey town, going down to hockey town, whoa, whoa. Hockey town, take me down to hockey town, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher, Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, I think we discovered last week, we said it was our 4th season. This is, in fact, our 5th season of the Minnesota Hockey Connection, episode number 2. And here we are, fresh at the start of the season. Things are just getting going. The Wild will start play for real.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night. They'll be at Colorado, and then they'll play their first home game this Saturday the 10th. They'll host St. Louis. And then the UMD Bulldogs started last night. They had an exhibition win, 6-1 over Lakehead out of Thunder Bay. And then they'll start things for real this Friday against Bemidji State.
Right, and it's a home and home. They play Friday night at home at Amsoil, and then they go out to Bemidji State. And the following week, it's a home and home with the Gophers. So that's our early series with the Gophers, but at least they're playing them. That's nice to see, you know, in-state rivalry, you know, over the years. And the big boys against the little boys, you know, I call it.
You know, we're eager to get hockey started as the summer goes on, but the summer can be long. The summer can, hockey can seem so far away, and yet here we are. The long summer is over, and hockey season is amongst us, and we're excited about that. The NAHL Minnesota Wilderness, based in Cloquet, had a big weekend series. They took on the Kenai River Brown Bears and won both games. And I got a chance to be at the Saturday game, and I saw Alex Toscano for the first time, and he's a big boy on the ice.
Yeah, he can get in those corners. He can cause a little havoc. You know, he likes that physical part of the game, you know, and that helps. Every team should have one or two of them like that to get in the corners, dig that puck out, and some other players going through the middle with that puck, just hit them, you know. And then they got Alex Trapp, you know, another player that he used to play with at Duluth East. I call him the train, you know. When he gets going, he likes to just boom into.
Sounds like a train just went through our office here. Boy, something just took a tumble. Yeah, you were at the game Saturday as well for the Wilderness. And you know what I'm impressed about? They get decent-sized crowds, and they've got good sponsorship.
Right. He started that out right away. He got that B&B Meats, and he's got a few others and that. But
PB and general manager, owner, Alex Trapp.
Right, right. And, hey, it's great hockey, like you were saying.
Or Alex is his son.
Yes.
Chris is the owner.
Right.
Chris Trapp.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, but it's great hockey. I mean, you've been there for a few games now, a couple this season. And, but it's just up and down. And, hey, one thing I noticed, I don't know where the Wilderness, this is their 3rd year in the NAHL, I mean, National North American Hockey League. Is where do they find these goalies?
Chase Monroe?
Yeah, he's playing good too. I mean, he's solid. He's been solid to me every time I see him.
And you said, where do they find these goalies? Well, if you go back, you had Kaskasuo the season before, and then last year it was, who was the goalie they had last year?
Brock starts with K. I can't think of his last name now, but he's at the Gophers.
Exactly, and he carried them, you know, through this Robertson Cup run.
The playoffs. He just destroyed every team.
And now Chase Monroe was awarded a Star of the Week by the league.
Yeah,
and you're right. Goaltending is their strong point.
Well, every team. I mean, you got to get that foundation. Once you get that foundation, then you work on the. You move back, you know.
But I'm real impressed with what they got going on up there. If you get an opportunity to get to Cloquet, check out the schedule on the NAHL website. Minnesota Wilderness, they play up at Northwoods Credit Union Arena, and they got a good product.
Yeah, and there's going to be not only a lot of games are mostly weekends, Friday, Saturday night, but there's sometimes Wednesday, Thursday they're going to have games. So, you know, that's no night for anything else, so get out there.
Yeah.
So we'll put it on our website when there's games, when they are for the Wilderness.
Now, you were at the game last night, UMD and Lakehead University. UMD won 6-1.
They had the whole team on the bench, you know. So preseason game, they can do that. So they had every player, 26, and there's 16 Minnesota kids on this team. So that's nice.
Really?
And a lot of northern boys, if you notice. I mean, they got Adam Johnson from Hibbing, Dom Toninato from Duluth. Let's see, who else they have? Carson Kuhlman, Cloquet, Jared Thomas, Herman Tom.
Well, I'm looking at this name here out of Thunder Bay, freshman centerman Billy Excel.
Yeah.
How did he look on the ice? Did he get some time on the ice?
He scored a goal.
Well, there you go.
There you go. And he played for the Wilderness on the championship team last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, plus Andy Walensky, the former Duluth East defenseman, he's up, they think he's going to win All-American honors this year.
Well, Andy Walensky is a captain this year, and he's got a lot to show because he is a draft pick of the Anaheim Ducks. And will he stay here the entire season? Is that a possibility he'll leave early?
No, I say he's here for the whole season. And
that doesn't happen too often.
Right. Usually after the junior year, a lot of them sign.
Right.
Because they don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
And then look who he's paired with. Little freshman from Hermantown.
Neil Pionk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they looked pretty good last night together.
Did they?
Yeah. So, I mean, all the defense looked pretty good last night, I thought. And then they played, all the goalies. So, hey, it was a fun night just to watch.
Parker McKay.
There you go.
Irma, Alberta, a freshman right winger.
There you go. Yeah, he put a lot of time in. So it was fun watching. But now the real deal starts, Bemidji State's going to be a lot more skilled team, faster team. So we'll see what happens next Friday, Saturday.
Goaltenders this year will be senior Matt McNeely for UMD and sophomore Casimir Kaskasuo.
Yeah,
and new to the team this year, freshman Nick Deary out of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
There you go. So, I mean, I look forward. Hey, the USCHO has them number 2 in the whole country, UMD, so a little pressure. But I was looking at all the teams on the rankings for college D1, and hey, the league that UMD's in, they got 4 teams in the top 10.
The NCHC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got North Dakota number 4. UMD was number 2. They got Denver number 5. And they got Omaha number 10. And then they got Miami of Ohio 11. So that's 5 teams in the.
Isn't that something?
And then St. Cloud State's in there too at 17.
Yeah.
So only 2 teams not ranked right now is Western Michigan and Colorado College. So it's going to be a tough league.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward, and you'll probably hit a few games.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've been. My situation's changed a little bit this year, where I won't get to as many games, but I'll certainly get down to those that I can. And the Minnesota Wild had a very successful time up here in Duluth. They skated at Amsoil Arena, took in some practices, and the little R&R got out to the golf course, and I understand they went up the North Shore and spent some time up there as well. That's great. Sadly, Justin Fontaine wasn't able to practice with the boys because he suffered an injury during a preseason game.
Right. And there's a couple other players that have some injuries already too. Jordan Schroeder. And who was the other player that I noticed? Justin Fontaine and, Eric Hulla. He got injured too now. So they got three of their faster players out.
Doesn't sound like Fontaine will be out long, but he may miss the first couple of weeks.
Right. They picked up Chris Porter, ex-UND player, North Dakota.
Where did he play high school at?
I can't remember.
I thought he was a Minnesota high school player.
Yeah, someone said that. I don't remember his name. But he has to go back 10 years. I don't know if he was down at Shattuck back then either, because he's a Parisi's friend.
Now, who's the defenseman that came over from the Gophers? Riley?
Yes.
Does he make a roster spot?
I say he goes down to Iowa to start the season just so he has playing time.
Sure.
Because they got players to start the season, but I can see him coming up.
Yeah.
Because he has a lot of finesse and moves the puck, and he can be used on the power play.
See, real quick, I want to come back to this NAHL, the Wilderness. There's a player on that team that's a high school player up in Cloquet?
Yes.
Now, how does that work? How does what's his name?
Cody Bender.
Okay, how does this affect his high school playing?
Well, he's going to high school right there.
Yeah. Is he going to play high school hockey?
We don't know yet. We don't know if he's going to stay on the Wilderness, but he has to make his mind up on November 9th, first day of practice. So either he has to show up for the high school practice. If he doesn't show up, he's on the Wilderness team for the year.
Well, he's a good hockey player.
Yeah.
I mean,
big boy.
I think it.
What does he say? 6'1"? Yes.
What grade is he in?
He'll be 12th grade. He's a 12th grader this year.
Well, I mean, I certainly wouldn't. I think it would be vital for him not to miss his senior season with the guys. But obviously he's
being in the same town too. I mean, boy, I don't know. But you hear all kinds of things, I'm hearing more that he's staying than going back to high school. So I hope I'm wrong on that. But we'll just wait.
My viewpoints on it is that this is it. You can never go back and play high school hockey. You can always go back and play junior hockey in the next couple of years. But you'll never get back that year with your buddies at high school.
That's the whole thing, I think, is your friends you're playing with.
Maybe some kids that's not important to them. I don't know. Does that come back and haunt them in the years to come?
And who makes that decision, really? Do the parents make that decision?
Well, I think it's ultimately on him.
Yeah, I hope it's all him, but who's influencing him, But we'll see. There's a lot of that going on. There's some top players that are in the USHL that could bring, if they played high school hockey, their team could win the state championship. There's 3 good players out there that really could help their team.
But if you look at some of the hockey players that Cloquet has produced, Cody Bender's on that list all of a sudden. Where he'll progress from here, we'll just have to wait and see. But of course, Jamie Langenbrenner, Derek Plant, Corey Millen.
Right.
Jim Springer, was he a Cloquet kid?
I don't know.
Yeah, so anyways, Cloquet has produced some very good hockey players, and Cody Bender, the most recent.
Right. So, we'll see. And like you said, I hope he stays in high school.
Yeah.
So, the Wild will start this week on Thursday in Colorado. Seems like every year lately they always start at Colorado.
They have. They have.
It comes a very good rivalry. It's very good for both teams, I think. Good rivalry going on.
Yeah.
So and then they come home and play St. Louis right away. So it doesn't get easier.
Yeah, 8 o'clock this Thursday, 8 o'clock. The Wild in Colorado kick it off. That game is on national television, NBC Sports Network, and then Saturday the 10th they'll host St. Louis in their home opener, and FSN will carry that game. And again, FSN and FS Wisconsin are going to carry a lot of games simultaneously this season.
So it's kind of funny, in the National Hockey League, there's a lot of predictions on who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year. And I was just looking at some of them, and boy, some of these writers, they have Minnesota in the top 10. And I don't know if I would put them that high because they didn't really make that many major changes. They didn't make any major changes, really. They signed a couple good contracts.
Well, I think you do put them that high.
You do?
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got Devin Dubnyk returning again, and he really solidified their goaltending position. And you've got the key guys remaining, Parisi, Ryan Suter, and the others. And, yeah, if they can get past Chicago, they're able to advance.
But they're in the middle of the pack every year, it seems like, and then last 3 years, they haven't gotten past Chicago.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe the Chicago's the secret.
I mean, last year we took out St. Louis, and St. Louis won that division. And then we got to Chicago, and things didn't go well.
But most people have Tampa Bay to win it all. J.T. Brown, ex-UMD players on that, but they got that Tyler Johnson that was hurt.
They were on the cusp this year, losing to Chicago.
That was a great series.
It was.
It was fun watching hockey. And they got the young kids up in New York Islanders are getting a little older now, but a lot of key Minnesota kids are on that team. Anders Lee, that played at Edina. They got
Kyle Okposo.
Oposo. And they, let's see, who else? Brock Nelson, Warroad. And who's the other kid that, Nick Leddy. I mean, they got some key Minnesota kids on that team.
Nick Leddy, #1 pick of the Minnesota, first round pick of the Minnesota Wild.
Probably the worst trade they ever made.
Traded to the Chicago Blackhawks for who? Wayne Newton? What's his name? Cam Barker.
Yeah.
Cam Barker.
How long did he last?
Yeah. We won't go there.
Okay. But there was another writer, I couldn't believe this. He had the Minnesota Wild in the Stanley Cup final against Tampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Well, I hope he's right.
Yeah. Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that the Minnesota Wild can have a great season. Mike Yeo is back again, and I think that he's put to rest all the doubters. Mike Yeo is an established NHL hockey coach now.
Right.
And I think he's got the makeup here to be a contender. I really do.
Well, some of the young players have to really get it together, though, to help this team. Because there's only so much Parisi's even getting older. He's over 30 now. So.
Well, we've got a guest. We're going to have you move over, and we'll have our guest just come here and push this chair right in between us.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Hey, when you get into the yard work.
Oh my God!
Jerry, I'm either
You're
on
retired.
time.
You're retired.
I'm either on time or I'm late. You should have texted me right away.
A familiar face, Mike Randolph. Good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the NCHC league. And your kid plays for Omaha, but what a league this year. I mean, there are so many good teams. Who do you have as the #1? They got UMD. You think UMD, you saw them last night. You think
saw them last night, watched them last year because they really didn't lose number-wise, a lot of people.
Got their goalie back.
Have their goalie back. They have all the pieces.
They got this guy
I'm very
back.
impressed. They have Andy back, which I thought maybe they were going to lose him.
Right.
And then this guy, Neil Pionk, and this guy, Adam Johnson. I've been watching them since they were peewees.
He's changed.
Yeah.
And they're very good hockey players
Yeah.
and great additions to a great lineup. I mean,
Right.
they have all the pieces.
They do.
There's no question about it. And if
preseason ranking, they've got them second place.
I think rightly so. I think they're the team in our league, and I think they're the team in the country. I think they're going to be in the top.
Okay,
ranked top.
Omaha is 10th. The only mystery there is going to be the goaltending, right?
Yeah, they have to find
Is this Kirk Tom?
find a goalie, and they have 3 guys they're looking at right now. Otherwise, they have a lot of people and a lot of pieces back, but that goaltender last year was a,
Right.
I
He
think-
saved you many games.
I think Omaha's ranked 10 based on last year. You know how rankings kind of go.
Right.
More than this year.
'Cause they just don't
It's an
know.
unknown where
Right.
and what they're going to do.
And
I
North
think
Dakota-
Denver's going to be very good. North Dakota's going to be
But they don't know
very
who
good.
their goaltender is going to be either.
True.
So,
Well, you'll be traveling to Omaha November 6th and 7th.
I'll be going to
lots.
Mankato Friday and
Next week.
Saturday.
Okay,
And
well,
I'll be
depend-
going to Omaha
Yeah.
for the Air Force Series, and then I'll be see. My hockey camps finish up this week, and I time it so that once the hockey camps finish up, I can travel, and then I travel until our season starts, Duluth East. So it's awesome.
Of course,
I'm
your
here.
son, Jake Randolph, is playing for Omaha, and UMD will travel to Omaha November 6th and 7th. And unfortunately, they will not be traveling to Duluth.
Right. That is, if you follow the league, there's like 2 teams that Omaha. We don't play CC at home this year. And UMD has the same thing. We're one of the teams that they only play in 1 series, and then there has to be another team in there that they either play. They must play them at home and not play there.
Well,
So-
Minnesota. Well, that's not the league.
NCAC.
Right.
So somebody on that schedule, and they rotate it every year. And then there's teams that you play all the time. Like I found out
Yeah, it
that
looks
we
like
play.
Denver's that team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, You got your TV all
Oh, no,
polished
no, it
for
wouldn't be
games
Denver.
with the National Hockey League starting this week?
Oh, it's been polished.
Who do you pick as the top team this year to win the Stanley Cup?
Wow.
That's a tough one.
Pressure right
Because
out
I
of
really
the
haven't.
gate.
You know, I'm a real Blackhawk fan, as much as Minnesota Wild.
They
people
lost
don't
some
like
key
them.
players, though.
Yes, they do. They do every year, though.
Yep, that's pretty true. That's amazing how
Their
they can come back
core
and do that.
group is back. Other than Oduye, all their defensemen are back, pretty much. Yeah, they are.
And
all
that's
back.
a key for that team.
And that's a key. And
Patrick Sharp is out.
that's no problem.
Yeah.
He was
It's
getting
time
up
for
there
him
in
to go.
age.
Yeah. It was time for him to go, and they'll replace him. I don't think he's a tough replacement. But
Well, this one writer has Tampa Bay #1, which
yeah,
that's well deserved.
yeah.
I mean, Anaheim, they were well deserved. Some big guys on that team that can really help.
I'll tell you who I wouldn't be surprised is
Not
Really?
better. Columbus,
that's
yeah.
a big, strong.
They're getting better and better.
They're the equivalent of the LA Kings. The LA Kings, I'm here to tell you, the LA Kings will not be out of the playoffs this year. The LA Kings had a long rest. You know how far they went in the playoffs, year after year, won the cup. That takes a lot out of players that the size they are. And I've seen LA play. In fact, Derek Forbert,
He might make the team.
he's playing with who's 8? What's from called?
Oh,
What's his name?
Doty?
Doty.
He's playing with him.
That ain't
That's
a bad
a pair.
pairing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
There might
that
be
tells you
something
a
there.
little bit there.
Yeah.
So he's played very well when I've seen him.
Yeah.
And I think he has a great shot at making a team. And if they send him down, I think during the course of the season, injuries and all that goes, into it, I think he's gonna. Usually the guys that make the last week, they're usually guys that'll be up there at some point during the season because of injuries and whatever.
Well, of course, you coached Derek Forbert, and that was a heck of a team. You go back to that team with Max Tardy, and that lineup you had there.
A lot of good D.
Yeah. If you have good D,
Yeah.
you're in good shape.
Yeah.
And Jake was just telling me the other day when he was on, they didn't play an exhibition game because of their new facility. So he was following all his teammates, and he said, Dad, do you realize that our power play, which our power play was over 50% that year, his senior year,
Yeah.
are all playing D1.
Isn't that something?
Olson at North Dakota, Trev,
Trevor Olson,
Dom at UMD,
Dominic.
Jake at Omaha, Mearsy at RPI,
Yep.
and
Rapinski.
Rapinski's at Yale.
I know it's early, October 5th, but when do you get things started with the high school team?
November 9th is the official date when all high school teams can start. It's a little earlier this year, so then the state tournament will be a little bit earlier. It's the first weekend of March. So, yeah.
Now, why is it earlier? Is there a reason that they?
I think football dictated it because football started a lot earlier this year.
That's right.
And that was because of the
It had to do
the
with
stadium.
scheduling. Yeah, the stadium.
Mostly the state tournaments.
Right.
So that moved everything forward.
Oh, it did? Okay.
So that's why
All right.
it's starting a little earlier. It's all
Yeah.
the same length, but it's just starting. Everything's starting.
Well, of course, you're coming off a season where you went to the state Class A championship and lost
Double
to
A.
Class Double A
Thank you.
and lost to lost
I
to
just wanted to-
yeah, no, absolutely lost to that Lakeville team that went undefeated. But up to that run, boy, you had some great games down there, beating Edina, and was it Eden Prairie? Who else did you beat down there?
We beat St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
In the
Yes,
academy.
yes.
Came back from 3 goals twice
Yeah,
against St.
yeah.
Thomas, and then
What did you
Probably
tell the
was.
guys when you got to that championship game? What were you telling them? Because the game certainly was close.
I don't remember that game as much as I remembered the Edina game. I had told the team that after we beat Elk River that there's no way we're going to get a top 4 seed. So we're going to end up playing a very good
best
team
teams.
right out of the chute. And I said, I hope we play Edina. And they said, why? Why do you want to play Edina? And I said, well, I'll tell you after we play them. So we didn't get seeded against them, but we got in the same bracket. So once we got past St. Thomas, which is a very good team, he says, Coach, why do you want to play Edina? So I told him before the game, there's a couple reasons I want to play Edina. Played them at Christmas time. They beat us 7-1, and their players were skating by our bench laughing at us.
Oh, my.
So that kind of went in the back of my mind. And then we were down 7-1, and we took a penalty late in the game, and they had their #1 power play out there. So that kind of put that in the back of my mind, and I said, now we get an opportunity to show them that we're a lot better than we were at Christmas time. We may not win this game, but we're going to go out there and play our best.
Yeah.
And let the chips fall. And we actually did play the best game we played. Throughout our lineup, that was the best game we played all year.
I couldn't believe what I was watching, and because Edina, they were a good team. There's no question about it. And you took care of business.
Yeah, it was a special, special group of kids. And I think we ran out a little bit of a gas in the championship game. And no question, we played a great team. They had 7 or 8 Division I commits at that time.
Yeah.
And they've had commits since then. So that was the best team in the state. Period.
Did your goaltender, Gunnar Howe, play his best hockey in the playoffs?
He played his best hockey in the third period against Grand Rapids, which they outplayed us by a wide margin. We're lucky to get out of that game. And fortunately, he played his strongest period, and we won 3-2. And then I thought he played really well against Edina and Lakeville North.
And then, of course, you had the game with Elk River.
Yeah.
That went into overtime.
Yep. Yep.
And
down by 3.
Down by 3.
Yeah.
They had a guy in the penalty box who skates out of the penalty box, takes one of your guys out, and all of a sudden you had, a 5-man advantage for...
I think the kid, got a 5-minute major,
Yeah.
if I recall.
I think you
We
only
picked
got
up 2
one
power
goal
play. No, we
out
got
of
2.
it. Did you get 2?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I remember,
All right.
because our power play was terrible, and I told Mills, I said, I hope we get 1 out of this thing, and we got 2 out of it.
Really, we've come to the end here. Coach Randolph, thank you so much. Any final thoughts?
No,
Yeah.
hockey season's here. It's a really exciting time of year, and
Yeah.
looking forward to all the local kids doing well.
Yep.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say your favorite team is Omaha?
Do I have a choice?
Yeah.
We'll get Coach Randolph back on this year, later on in the season when the high school starts. And we'll see how Omaha's doing and UMD and up in the high school teams. Plus, he plays Duluth Marshall this year for the first time in 20 years.
And the
Pretty
date
close
on
to
that, do
20.
we
Is
have
that
a
all
date?
I've been?
Do we know?
I think it's the 16th of December.
Well, we're looking forward to
Something like
that.
that.
That'll be exciting. Minnesota Hockey Connection, you can find us online, minnesotahockeyconnection.com. Find us on Facebook and like us there. And also go to our YouTube channel, Minnesota Hockey Connection. Our YouTube channel this year will be much more active. And with that, we want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, Public Access Television, produced this show. And for Jerry Burrow and Coach Mike Randolph, I'm Kenny Gallagher, and we'll be back here next week, guys, to drop the puck.